I think everybody at some point kind of knew that this would be happening, but a top WWE star has officially made their exit away from WWE. My name is Zango. On this channel, I keep you updated with literally everything that has to do with wrestling, and then I bring you my analysis, thoughts, opinions, whatever it may be on the biggest stories of pro wrestling. So if you guys like this type of thing, go ahead and click subscribe for more. We're going to turn our attention to Twitter because right now on Twitter, it appears that a top WWE star has announced that they have left the company, and it does appear to be a very interesting situation, and I'm going to explain why. With that being said, let's take a look at this tweet from Saraya, aka Paige. So we're going to click on this image. July 7th will be my last day with WWE. I'm so thankful and I appreciate the opportunities that the company has given me. I will always be appreciative of the company that took in an 18-year-old British pale emo girl that didn't look like your average diva, giving me a chance of a lifetime and making me feel like a superstar. I know after my neck injury taking me out of in-ring status, it was pretty hard to keep me around for as long as you did, and for that I am thankful too. Thank you to the WWE Universe. You guys are the most passionate group of fans I've ever seen. Hope you continue to stay on this journey with me. I think the toughest part, weirdly enough, is having to let go of the name Paige. But Saraya is hell of a name. Kudos to my mom for that one. FYI, I'm not saying I'll never be in the ring. That day will most certainly come again, wherever the return may be. Guys, I was always a big fan of Paige. Obviously, from the minute that they had her debut on the main roster, it was very clear that WWE took her very serious. For those who argue that she is not a top star, I think you need to definitely go back and watch WWE and see what Paige meant to WWE, because I think everybody knew that Paige was definitely a top star for the company. Also, Paige was incredibly popular once her in-ring career was gone, and she still showed up on TV occasionally. She was still considered a very big deal. And then, of course, when Paige started doing Twitch and live streaming and everything like that, her influence was really massive. And by the way, if you don't believe me, let's just look at the tweets, right? Let's look at the Twitter account. Her Twitter account has over 2.6 million followers. So just to give you an idea of how massive and how popular she is, she's really, really popular. And, you know, here's the thing, guys. Obviously, her career was cut short. This is a very, very weird situation because we don't know if she's actually cleared or not cleared. In previous months, you know, when we talked about Paige, more specifically, you know, just like in general, like what might happen with her career or whatever, we really didn't know. We were waiting for updates, and there was rumors and stuff that she would be coming back into the ring, that she might have been cleared, but there was nothing that came out. And because of that reason, I don't know if Paige will actually be able to wrestle again. And I know she says, hey, like it's the last statement, you know, FYI, I'm not saying I'll never be in the ring. That day will most certainly come again, wherever the ring return may be. I mean, I think it's obvious, like you have to mention AEW here. You know, Bryan Danielson got medically cleared. Paige, is she medically cleared? We don't know this type of stuff, man. This is the thing that's got people like really, really, really interested in what happens next, because you know, had she just left and not been medically cleared by WWE, whatever it may be, you know, okay, that would be the end of the story. But because we have seen so many people come back from injury, we saw Edge, we saw Christian, we saw obviously what happened with Danielson. You know, a lot of people are wondering if Paige is the next person to get cleared. And if she is able to get cleared, why did WWE not utilize her? Because I think that's the interesting piece here. If WWE chose not to utilize Paige, why? And obviously, you know, you got to go for the doctor's word. If the doctor said she's good to go, then she should be good to go. But if she's saying that she could potentially be in the ring again, you know, who else can muster up the money for Paige? I think AEW is that category. And listen, AEW needs to get better at booking their women's division. And it pains me to say this, but Thunder Rosa is the women's world champion, and she's not even a focal point of their show. The AEW World Champion Hangman Page wasn't even the focal point of their show. So the reason why I say this is AEW needs big names to join the company, but at the same time, too, it is evident to me that every single time AEW adds a big name, people that were part of AEW were getting shitted on, basically. So as much as I would love to see Paige return, whether it's WWE, Impact, AEW, you know, whatever it may be, regardless of how it goes, I would love to see her back in the ring. But the fact is, I would love to see her in AEW. The matches that she could have with Thunder Rosa, the matches that she can have with Britt Baker, the storylines. Really, I mean, that's what it comes down to. Is you can create stories. It could be more than just a good wrestler. See, that's the thing about Paige. She understood what it meant to be a WWE superstar. She understood what it meant to have a character and have something special about her. She took advantage of TV time. She was good, man. Paige was really good. And when you look at the early days of NXT, Paige really cemented what it meant to be somebody from NXT, because she was the first call-up, I think, genuinely speaking, where she came from NXT to the main roster. And when she went to the main roster, what ended up happening? She won the Divas Championship. And I will never forget that, because that was a very clear moment of WWE telling us, hey, we really want you to take Paige seriously. And I think for that reason, whatever happens next, it's going to be massive. I really think a lot of people are underestimating this. Now, I also believe in the back of my mind, and I don't have any evidence to support this. It's just something I'm kind of speculating here. But there is a good chance that maybe she's medically cleared and WWE just doesn't want to risk it. That has been something that's been said by WWE several times. They don't want to risk injuries to people that have already had career-ending injuries. And for that reason, you know, Maybe that's what it came down to. WWE tried to keep her. They kept her around for a lot of stuff. She was on WWE backstage. She was very involved, even though she wasn't wrestling. So very, very interesting news here. Very big news here for WWE. Very big news here for Saraya. And you know what? I'm curious to see what happens next. She's an absolute rock star, an absolute incredible talent, but it appears that she is no longer with the WWE. And you know what? Whatever happens next, I'll be watching very closely. Now, with that being said, I want to finish this video with one big statement, and that falls back to AEW. AEW has to really take this women's division seriously. They have to learn how to prioritize certain wrestlers at certain times over other wrestlers during other times. Everybody's going to get their shot, but the problem is the people who should be at the top of the card, and it's not my opinion, right? I'm not saying, oh, based on my opinion, they should be at the top of the card. I'm talking about people with the belt. When the person with the belt is not given this amount of attention to be successful, right? If they're not one of the focal points, you are devaluing your championship belt, right? WWE has devalued their championship belts when their champions aren't defending their belts on pay-per-view, when their belts aren't being shown on TV, when those wrestlers aren't being used. Ricochet, I've said it so many times, Ricochet was a perfect example. Now I look at AEW and I see what they've done with Thunder Rosa, and it makes me really weird about this idea of them expanding their roster when they're getting lost in the sauce right away. So my hope is that Paige will be a wonderful fit for AEW, but only if AEW truly knows how to prioritize their women. I don't want Paige to come in and next thing you know, now Athena, who was the hot act of today, becomes the talk of yesterday. So I hope there is a change here. Let me know what you guys think down below. Breaking news, Angle YT for more videos like this.